Welcome to Between Two Poles, where you meet the faces of pole fitness studio and beyond. My name is Fawnia Mondey, and we're here with Jenny Bascos, who's been teaching here at Pole Fitness Studio since around 2008. Welcome, Jenny.
Sounds good. Thank you, Fawnia.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yay. Now, one of the questions many of us are thinking, like, how old is Jenny and how does she get started in dance?
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well,
How young is Jenny? Rephrase.
Oh, it's okay. It's funny because age has been something I never really thought a whole lot about, which is maybe part of the reason why I feel young. I'm 51, which kind of feels strange, I guess, when I when I say the number, but it's never really been anything I've been overly preoccupied with. But yes,
Yeah, if we keep thinking about the number, then we might become the number.
yeah. I think at some point you start going backwards, don't you?
I think so. Yeah, at least
That's what
emotionally.
that's what I always felt.
Yes. And now, how did you get started in dance?
How did I get started in dance? Well, my professional career began in New York City circa 1994. Before that, I was a philosophy major, and then I decided, I want to pursue the arts. I want to become a dancer. So I, I was going to Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts at the time, and I just decided to pick up and leave and move to New York, not knowing anyone. From there, I was fortunate enough to make some, connections with Metropolitan Opera, and I auditioned as a flamenco dancer for Carmen and La Traviata, and I got in. So that was, kind of my first steps into my professional career dancing.
Wow.
Before that, I did it more, more as a hobbyist, like a novelty. I never pursued it seriously because I grew up, you know, Asian family, that I needed to pick a profession that would support, you know, support my, my lifestyle.
Yeah,
Or,
sure.
so, I kind of rebelled against that whole idea, and I was like, no, I'm going to be an artist.
I love that.
I was
We are grateful you did.
you know what, I am too. As you know, dance isn't the most lucrative profession, and it's very challenging and very competitive. But everything's a trade-off, right? If you, if you work hard and you make the right connections, it could also be very, you know, well, obviously physically rewarding because
True.
it's so good for your body, but also creatively and, emotionally rewarding.
So where would we have seen you if we went back to, I guess, the 90s?
Oh gosh.
What stage were you have been
Such,
on?
such good times. Gen X, yes. Okay, Gen X in the eyes. Where would I would have been at the Lincoln Center. Let's see, we did tour Japan for for a few weeks. That was my first time, going to Japan, which was absolutely amazing. Feel very blessed to have had that opportunity. Um, you would have seen me in smaller venues because, as a oh, let me backtrack a little bit. So my focus with dance was flamenco at the time, and so most of the gigs there were done in what they call tapas bars. And it was like a nightlife scene. So you would go in, set up with some musicians. It was always live music and like this little wooden stage, somewhere in the bar area. And people would just be drinking and having their tapas or their little hors d'oeuvres and snacks.
So they weren't throwing money.
Well, you know what? There were some people. Like one of my friends had actually received diamonds, like a little satchel of diamonds from who knows, like I think some kind of rich Arab guy or something.
Please take my
Like
diamonds.
take my diamond. Yeah, like I mean,
Wow.
you know, um, not really throwing money like you would at,
Okay.
when you make it rain,
Diamonds.
at a club. Yeah, yeah. Please don't rain diamonds on me. At least not.
Put
throw
them in a
at me.
satchel,
Yeah,
please.
yes, please.
I'm handing out satchels to you all.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So,
that's wild.
so yeah, so mixture of both, like big stages, like I said, like Lincoln Center, and then also just small venues, especially when you're freelancing, which I did. going to just like small restaurants and stuff like that, you'd catch me there.
And how did you end up in Vegas in a pole dancing studio?
Well, I started pole dancing in New York. There I was working at a Gold's Gym, and there was, they were offering pole dance classes, and I was like, oh yeah, this will be kind of fun and easy. I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a transition. I'm in shape. I'm a dancer. I do yoga. Blah blah blah. And I walked in there, with a little bit of ego, and then I came out completely humbled because there was this gorgeous instructor, and she was talking, and she was just climbing up on her pole and doing all these beautiful moves, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh no, I can't. And I was like,
Oh.
but then again, I was like, I was so determined after that. I was like, no, I'm gonna get this, and it just became a huge addiction for me. And so kind of close to the time when I was retiring from my professional dance career, I started spending more time out here in Vegas, because my parents lived out here. And that's when I discovered your studio. I was like, oh, I kind of wandered in, wide-eyed, and like, oh, this is great. There's a pole dance studio here, and I'm going to be here for the summer, and this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to, study pole dance. And
I remember what pole you were on.
you do?
I do. So downstairs studio, which is no longer with poles, but downstairs studio in the middle, we have this pretend brick section, and you were on the pole, I'm pretty sure, near the middle of the room.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it was like third pole from the bathroom. Wild.
Oh.
And you were taking, I swear, you would take 2 or 3 classes in a row with us, and then you would go to other fitness facilities and take 2 or 3 classes over there.
Oh yeah, I was like, I mean, I think that when you're doing something you love, you just, you know, you just naturally get the enthusiasm and the energy, and it kind of carries out through everything else in your day.
And, yeah, and you have been dancing for so long, so to just do 1 hour of fitness a day might be a little odd.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's that's very strange for me. I mean, well, I mean, the funny thing is that I stumbled into fitness and dance more as a way of healing. There was a lot of, well, I can't say like, you know, I think there's dysfunction in every family, or frustrations in every
Hmm.
family, right? So you kind of want to find, you know, a way out of that, and that's what dance was for me. And pole was the same way. It's like kind of creating a family and a community
Mm.
outside of, one that, at times was very frustrating for me. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
you
The
know,
gateway to a different family, a different world.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think
love
that's
that.
I think that's why we have such a great, community at your studio. It's
Oh,
like it's always been very welcoming, very open-minded.
we are open minded,
Yes.
which actually leads me perfect timing for the
Yes.
rapid fire
Ooh,
moment.
okay.
We are going to get to know Jenny a little bit
Exciting.
differently than we have been these last few minutes. So I'm just going to lay out a few questions here, and she's going to give the answer of the options that I'm going to give.
Okay.
So,
I'm ready.
Jenny, spinning or static?
Spin.
All right. Whips or feathers?
Oh, whips.
I knew that.
You know the answer to these questions.
I know, but I just wanted to get it on the record. Okay, top or bottom?
Oh, both?
Hey, Jenny! If I could turn back time. Okay, rice or quinoa?
Ooh, quinoa.
Okay, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Rave or meditate?
Both.
Exhibitionist or voyeur?
Oh, God. I think more.
That's a hard one.
That's a tough one. I'm kind of leaning more towards voyeur because I am more introvert, I think. But
Okay. I like to finish on that note.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll take it.
Okay, cool. That was fun. Let's take a look. What are your favorite forms of dance? If you could just lay out a few.
Favorite forms of dance? Well, flamenco, obviously, pole, obviously. I'm gonna make this a little stretch and say, yoga, because even though I know yoga is, more meditative practice, I also approach it, from the side of movement and dance. And I think that when you're in that meditative flow, it could feel like a dance.
Your yoga it's smooth. You got this
Oh.
vinyasa and you're going and you never run out of things to say.
Yeah, well, it's that whole idea, like breath breath to movement. And, when you follow your breath, you just get into, you know, that meditative state
That
and that
meditative
zone.
state. Now, what about injuries? How have you
Injuries.
made it this far? Or have you made it this far?
Uh, well, I mean, as we know, the body changes. I definitely have, I feel repetitive stress, injuries throughout my body. But I feel like I'm very much of an intuitive mover. So, and I always preach this to my students too, that listen to your body. Understand your own limits. Progress is always kind of up and down. It's not just a straight shot up.
Good point.
And I think that's kind of the secret to the whole longevity thing too. It's just like, some days you're going to show up and you're not going to be your strongest, but don't beat yourself up. That's okay.
Hmm.
And then, just, you don't have to do the hardest thing, but just do something.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like, tricks on a pole, maybe you're just like dancing, and that's still very good for your body. And then by the time, you're rested, you can come back and do the more difficult things. But as far as injuries go, just, if something starts to hurt, I just don't push it.
Oh, that's a smart one. And you mentioned before we went live that you hadn't had breakfast. Tell us what a day in the life of Jenny
Oh,
on the plate
geez.
looks like.
So usually, well, it's known as intermittent fasting. Although like I told you, I was doing it way before. I was never really a breakfast person. I never really felt like I needed to, start my day with, with food, and it's not for everyone. But for me, I find that, in the morning, if I get up and I start moving, um, that kind of carries me through the day, energy wise, and then like right after I'm done working out, then I'll have my meal. So usually I'll my eating window is somewhere between 2 and 10 p.m.
Okay, so you're
Um,
not doing one meal a day and
uh,
fasting the rest.
no, no, no. I mean, sometimes like that'll vary. Like if I'm feeling really run down, because I do, try to monitor my insulin levels, I'll have like a little bit of a snack. Again, it's like, yeah, that intuitive thing. Like this
Hmm.
is like intermittent fasting is what I do, as a standard. But, I mean, if I'm just like, oh, I'm really, really sluggish, I need something, just have some nuts, or,
Hmm.
just like a little snack.
Little snack. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're not doing the typical breakfast, lunch, dinner, and one or two
No,
snacks.
no, that's never really been
That's too vanilla for her.
in me. I know I am kind of extreme.
Now, if you could summarize, why do you love pole dancing? What would you tell someone? Say, why do you do that? Do you want to be a stripper? You're a little old for being a stripper.
Oh,
Or
geez. Well, you know what? I think a lot of it is down to, personal expression. Plus, it is such an excellent form of fitness. You can't argue that. Like, it has
Mhm.
completely changed my body, that in ways that, a gym workout could not. And it requires coordination. It's an art form to me. Plus, there's so many forms of it. Like, I love just, doing my thing, but I love also looking around and being like, oh man, that's really, like, looking around at other students, or or my peers, like, oh, that's really cool. And I
Yeah,
just love being supportive in that way. Um, so yeah, it's everything. It's the environment. It's the workout. It's the community.
I love that.
It's all tied
And do you
together.
have a pole at home? I don't know if I ever asked you.
You know what? I do, but the only time I used it was during the pandemic.
Oh, geez. Is it still up?
It's no, I took it down
Mm.
because well, I mean, I want to put it back up just because it's like great to have a pole. It's great to have a pole at
It
home.
really is. I like putting
Oh,
it up even if I don't use it, but it just makes me feel better having it up. It's like having
yeah,
a fireplace or a television. Most people don't have a fireplace, but it's
yeah.
nice to have one.
It is nice to have one. I mean, especially when you have like, friends over and guests. It's like
Yes.
it can't go unnoticed, and like
It's
some of
actually
the
more important than a table and chairs, in my opinion.
mm,
When you have friends over.
which makes sense,
Yes.
considering that you own own a studio.
Yeah, when we have people
It's like,
over, we do have a few apparatuses to play on.
yeah. Oh God, I love your house. Like, it's like a jungle gym for adults.
We might have to shoot there sometime.
That would be fantastic.
Hmm.
You should 100%.
Okay, well, maybe we'll do that.
But yeah, I just, I'm really grateful for this journey I've been on, like specifically with pole, but like with, you know, all the experiences I've had leading up to this, going to New York, finding myself as an artist there, discovering pole, then meeting you, and
And
then
what I love, I
hopefully,
just remember when you say you go back to New York, one time you came back to Vegas, shaved head, blonde hair.
yes, 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 yes.
That is so hard to picture, but maybe we can dig up a picture and Javier can put it right here.
Yes, I'll find one. I have one. I have like a little
So
pixie
great.
cut.
So great. Oh, well, Jenny, it's been so much fun to have you,
Thank you,
and
Fawnia.
looking forward to seeing you on the pole again.
Oh, appreciate you.